What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Hold the Phone podcast. I'm your host, Alex, joined by my host, Ryan. What's going on, man?
Nothing, man. Just waiting on some exciting NFL news, but I haven't gotten any. But we got some good playoff games to talk about.
Yeah, so this week, we skipped last week just because there wasn't a lot of news and we both had stuff going on. And then this week, not a lot of NFL news. I'm going to let Ryan jump right into a little bit of a recap in just a second of the small stuff that's happened, and then we're going to talk about the second round of the NBA playoffs, make predictions for the conference finals, and it'll probably be a relatively short episode for you guys this week. But
yeah, all right. Well, today, former Buffalo Bills and former Oakland Raiders, and now I guess former Kansas City Chiefs quarterback E.J. Manuel decided to retire today. Really surprising. He's super young. I think he's still around 27, 28. And actually 6 months ago, he complained on Twitter that Nathan Peterman still had a job and he didn't. And now that he has a job of his own, well, I don't really know what to make of that. What do you think?
I could see it being a thing where he retired so that he could play in the XFL. But again, I don't know. Maybe he just wanted to retire because the XFL is not scheduled to start for another year. So maybe he just got tired of putting in the work and he figured, let me go relax. I mean, he clearly has money, or I would hope he has money if he's retiring. So, yeah, man. Along with that, also, Bills quarterback Derek Anderson retired.
He did. That was a little less surprising because Derek Anderson's way older than E.J. Manuel. But, yeah, I was kind of sad to see him go. But, I mean, I knew he was likely going to get cut anyways, just because obviously he's not going to be our starter. That's Josh Allen. He's not even the second string either because Matt Barkley definitely looks better at second string. But he was more of a teacher to Josh Allen, so I wasn't surprised that he called it a quits. I was surprised that he did it at what time he did, but I'm not surprised he retired.
Yeah, I agree. You got anything else for us?
Sticking with quarterbacks, the recently cut from the Jacksonville Jaguars, Cody Kessler joined the Philadelphia Eagles to make for a very exciting quarterback race for who is going to back up Carson Wentz. I think they just cut Luis Perez today, the guy they signed from the AAF, so now it's between Nate Sudfeld, who's been the third-string quarterback for the last few years, Clayton Thorson, who they drafted, I think, in the 6th round,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And now Cody Kessler. So it'll be really exciting to see. I say exciting, very relaxed, but because I mean it is a second string job, but I mean it is going to be a battle to see who gets to stay on the roster and whatnot. So
is Clayton Thorson?
I think that's all we got. Sorry, go ahead.
Is Clayton Thorson the wasn't he North Dakota State's quarterback?
Yeah, which means that
They have two of them.
I think it might have been out of the spectrum that he may have been teammates with Carson.
Yeah,
if he was,
I think he was their backup.
Clayton was a freshman.
Yeah. Okay.
What?
I think he was the backup his freshman year for Carson Wentz.
Oh, that's really cool. I didn't know that. That's probably like the whole reason they drafted him. Well, now I know who I'm cheering for.
Yeah.
That'd be super cool.
Plus, he's the youngest. So, with that being said, we're gonna hop into some NBA with the. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say one thing before we jump into the NBA. I want to say that I have no idea how there are two free agents that are sticking in my head that I have no idea how they're not on a team yet. The draft is over, and there are definitely teams that need these two positions. And those two players are Eric Berry and Ndamukong Suh. Those are two super good players. Still have a lot of years left to play. I don't know how they have been unsigned so far. But
yeah, I mean, at this point, I feel like they're gonna end up signing like right before training camp or something like that because it's especially Ndamukong Suh. Like Eric Berry's been injured, but Ndamukong Suh, I mean, he really has nothing recently that I can think of.
Yeah, I mean, if I was him, I think he's kind of talked his way out of re-signing with the Rams. But if I was him, I would have re-signed with the Rams. That seems to be the best fit. They definitely need a really good defensive tackle. I think with him out of the picture, they're kind of left barren at defensive tackle besides Aaron Donald. So, but I liked him in
we're forgetting
LA.
something.
So,
Doug Baldwin retired today or yesterday.
yeah, I just thought about that after I was talking about Eric Berry. I was like, I guess I'll talk about that next. Yeah, Doug Baldwin. Not a big surprise after all the news we've been getting about him, but it was kind of sad to see him go. I mean, I thought he had at least 2 or 3 years in the tank, and I guess that was a good passing the torch to DK Metcalf and Gary Jennings in Seattle.
Also, another thing is that it looks like Cam Chancellor has also retired. He pretty much had already retired, and then they cut him so that they don't have to pay him the insurance and benefits and stuff like that. So he's also a free agent, but it looks like he's going to end up retiring.
Yeah, he stepped away from the game last year. I don't see him coming back. Oh, one thing that also happened this week was someone came out of retirement. Ben Watson was retired for about 2 months and then re-signed, or not, didn't re-sign. He unretired to come play for the Patriots. It's really good for the Patriots because after losing Rob Gronkowski, they definitely had a hole at tight end with only Austin Seferian-Jenkins as their only real tight end. So yeah, I know Ben Watson's probably not going to be a long-term option for him. I think he's got 1 year trying to get a title. Yeah. Trying to get a chip. But it was a good fill. Good temporary fill, I guess.
Yeah, it seems like they're trying to do like a hybrid where they use Seferian-Jenkins as the more pass catcher, and then Ben Watson is the run blocker and pass blocker.
Yeah, which I think is probably the best role for him at his age. He probably can't move the way he used to be. I mean, he was pretty good with the Saints this year, but he wasn't spectacular. So that's probably a good role for him, taking a lesser role in that offense.
All right. Well,
I think now we can probably bounce over to NBA.
Yeah, so the second round of the playoffs wrapped up yesterday. So I guess the first series we can start with is the Milwaukee Bucks defeated the Boston Celtics in the series 3-1. They won on Monday, 113-101 or actually that's not the last game. What am I talking about? The last game was the 8th, which the Bucks won 116-91 to finish out the series. It was pretty much a pretty dominating performance by the Bucks after their Game 1 loss.
Yeah, the Celtics looked really strong, but after that, the Bucks really kind of demolished them after that. I mean, there was no real game that there was any question, I guess, and who the winner would be. The Bucks just kind of handled them after that. Was obviously onto Antetokounmpo at the Rams, but if I'm the Celtics right now, I think I'm like hovering my hand on the detonate button. I think they got to blow it up. I think they got to let Kyrie walk. Maybe trade Horford. Maybe think about trading Tatum or Brown. Probably just one of them. Keep the other, and then maybe even trading Hayward. Hayward definitely hasn't been really worth the investment they put on him a few years ago. I know he got hurt last year, but I don't see them being ever a title contender really.
No, I mean,
with this team.
I think their play is going to be, if they're going to re-sign Kyrie, I don't think he does re-sign. I think he either goes to LA or Boston. I mean, LA or the Knicks. But if they are going to re-sign him, they're probably going to re-sign Kyrie and then try and trade like almost all of their young pieces for Anthony Davis, because Kyrie and Anthony Davis are like good friends, and try and build around that. But I don't know. I agree. It looks like it's going to be a blow-up job for the Celtics. And when it comes to the series, they really had no answer for Giannis. I mean, he's 7 foot tall. They don't really have anybody that can guard him because Horford is not fast enough or athletic enough. And they just pretty much dominated them. So the Bucks made it to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in a long time.
Since like 2001, I think. It's been like...
Yeah, it's been a long time. And the other series that we will go to in the East, the Toronto Raptors defeated the uh, 76ers 92-90 in Game 7 yesterday to move on to the Eastern Conference Finals, and Kawhi Leonard hit probably the most ridiculous shot I've seen in a long time. I think that ball bounced 5 or 6 times, it felt like. It was just insane.
Yeah, the shot was amazing, and honestly, the series should the series should not have gone to 7 games. I think the Raptors definitely had a few opportunities to kind of put away the Sixers, but they left room, and they even did that in Game 7. They jumped out to an early lead, and I mean they ended up letting the Sixers back in the game quite a few times. I thought they got really lucky with the Kawhi shot. That was such an amazing shot, definitely a top 10 clutchest shots in NBA history. But you could definitely feel in the fourth quarter that Raptors fans were starting to doubt everything that their management had done, because the Raptors have been notorious for not making it very far in the playoffs. They give these very prestigious high seeds, like a 1 or 2 or 3 seed, every year, and they never do anything with it. They always fizzle out in the first 2 or 3 rounds. I don't know when the last time they made it to the finals was, but it's been quite a while. Actually, I don't even think they've been in franchise history.
No, I don't think they've ever been to the finals.
But yeah, I know you can exactly. So you can definitely feel that the fans were definitely questioning management's decisions because they had just traded DeMar DeRozan last summer, which is a guy that everyone loved. DeMar said he wanted to finish his career with the Raptors because he obviously got drafted there, started his career there, and he wanted to finish it there. The fans loved him. So they were pretty mad when they traded him, but I mean, they liked the reward they got with Kawhi Leonard, but they were starting to wonder if it was worth it, if it was worth trading this guy that they loved for a minor improvement in Kawhi Leonard. And I don't know if I should say minor improvement because Kawhi is definitely way better than DeMar, but I don't know. And also trading for Marc Gasol and such, so they were starting to wonder if it was all worth it. But obviously Kawhi made the shot and taken them farther, so
I don't know.
I'm starting to think it was worth it.
I think it was worth it too. And yeah, I agree with you. I think the Raptors probably should have won this in 5 games, maybe 6, but they just outplayed them for the whole series. Kawhi is playing at an incredible series, actually incredible playoffs. He's averaging like crazy numbers. One thing I will say is that they did take a gamble. Like, this whole Raptors team could be blown up if Kawhi doesn't re-sign this summer. And reports are already that LeBron has been in contact with Kawhi, talking to him, trying to recruit him. And it looks like he's going to end up with either Toronto, the Clippers, or the Lakers. And if they ended up losing him, that would be a huge blow to them because then they're stuck with Kyle Lowry, who has not played good in the playoffs at all. And then aging. They're basically going to be the Grizzlies because they're stuck with Kyle Lowry, who is Mike Conley. And then they'll have Marc Gasol.
That's so accurate.
So, I mean, it's still a huge gamble.
Well,
but
one team you forgot to leave out of the mix for Kawhi is the New York Knicks. I've heard a lot of rumors that Kawhi is definitely considering going to New York.
True.
Which will be interesting because you also have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving also considering going to
that would be
New
insane.
York. Also, while we were talking about it earlier, Kyrie Irving going to the Lakers, what is that about? Because he was talking about how he was so happy to get away from LeBron, and now he wants to rejoin LeBron? What is that?
So it literally came out, I think it was today, earlier this morning, that he's talked to his inner circle about rejoining up with LeBron, and that this whole Boston experience has humbled him. And so now nobody knows what to believe, because there's been multiple reports that he wants to go to New York. There's been multiple reports that he'll go to L.A. Some say he'll still stay in Boston. Like, nobody knows what's going on with him.
You want to know what I think?
Yeah, what?
I think that Kyrie's a bum. That's what I think. But anyways, do you want to kind of preview, before we go to the West, do you want to preview this Bucks and Raptors matchup?
Yeah, we can. But hang on. I'm not just going to skip over you calling Kyrie a bum. I think Kyrie... No, seriously, I'm not going to disagree with you, but I think Kyrie is Kemba Walker. He was just blessed with LeBron James, and Kemba Walker has never been blessed with LeBron James. Like, I feel like this offseason, if Kemba signs with the Lakers, cool. LeBron, you got your Kyrie again. I feel like they're basically the exact same player. Because think about if LeBron would have never went back to the Cavs, Kyrie would have never won a championship. That team was trash before LeBron came back. They were awful. They were basically what the Charlotte Hornets are right now. So, I mean, he's not a bum. He's clearly one of the best point guards in the league. But his mental attitude and fortitude, he's a bum in that aspect.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Obviously, he's a great player, but yeah, the attitude. He's got a very similar attitude to my friend Kevin Durant, who I also consider a grade A bum. But
yes, I have a.
It's just the attitude of let me swap teams until I get a chip. Like it's ridiculous. Come on, man. Either you want to carry a team or you want to be the second man to LeBron. Make up your mind.
No, I think what's going to end up happening is the Lakers are going to end up with either Kyrie or Kimba and Jimmy Butler. That's who they're going to end up signing.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler did make it kind of sound like he was going to leave after the Philadelphia press conference.
He did. He sure did.
He was like, "Oh, this team's never going to be the same."
Yeah,
he made it seem like anymore, so.
All right, we might have to blow this up, is what he made it seem like. Yeah, but we can preview it. I mean, who do you think's going to win, the Bucks or the Raptors?
See, I have a hard time thinking about this because you have two superstars going head to head who play the same position with different skill sets, and Kawhi Leonard and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Obviously, Antetokounmpo is a smash mouth driver. He just drives to the basket. Doesn't really shoot that well. I mean, he's still elite on all levels. And then you have Kawhi, who can kind of do it all. They're both defensive superstars, but Kawhi is definitely a better shooter than Giannis. But there are two things that I've been kind of dealing with, is that the Bucks have had a week to prepare for all this. They have had a week to study all the games that the Sixers and the Raptors have played. They've had a week to relax and recuperate. They've also had a week to prepare for whoever they're going to be playing on Wednesday night. And now we know that that's going to be the Raptors. My thing for the Raptors is I think they have far better big men than the Bucks do, and I think that's going to really play a role throughout this entire series. The Toronto Raptors have Marc Gasol, Pascal Siakam, and they have Serge Ibaka coming off the bench. The only guys I can really think about for the Bucks is Brook Lopez, and I mean Brook Lopez is good, but I mean he's no Marc Gasol, he's no Serge Ibaka, no Pascal Siakam. So I want to lean towards the Raptors on this one. That's what my heart's telling me. What about you?
Okay, are you ready? The Bucks are going to win it in 5.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. I think Toronto has never. I can't remember the last time Toronto's been to an Eastern Conference Final where they don't play LeBron. I think they're going to be so emotionally hyped that they probably win Game 2. I think they get blown out in Game 1. I think the Bucks come out and they just straight up demolish them. I will say, if Kawhi can stop Giannis, then I can see it going the other way. But I just think they're going to be so emotionally invested, and I also think the Bucks have better guards than the Raptors. Like Kyle Lowry.
Alex, you there?
Yeah. Can you not hear me? Hello? Buddy?
Hello?
Hey guys, sorry, our call dropped. I called Ryan back. We're good. This is the technical difficulties of doing a podcast between states. But yeah, we're back. Like I was saying, I think the Bucks win it. I think if Kawhi can stop Giannis, then they might have a chance. But I just think the Bucks with Eric Bledsoe and Chris Middleton are going to overpower Lowry on the front court, and they're going to pull it out. You got any more thoughts on the series?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's definitely going to come down to the pieces around them, because it's going to be such a fun battle between Kawhi and Giannis, and it's really going to come down to how well Middleton plays, how well Brogdon plays, how well Lowry plays, how well Van Vliet plays, and Gasol. You know, it's going to be who has the best supporting cast, I guess.
Exactly. So I guess now we can jump over to the West. We'll actually start with we'll start with Golden State and Houston. So Golden State ends up winning that series. They won 4-2, beating the Rockets in game, what was that, 6? Yeah, game 6, 118-113, with no Kevin Durant. What are your thoughts? Because I have a lot, so I'll let you go first.
Okay. Well, I'll probably give a quick one. I'll let you go, and then I have a really hot take that I want to spit. But I think that this is an absolute disgrace. I feel bad for Houston fans because Kevin Durant left Game 5, did not even play Game 6, and the Rockets managed to lose both of those games. James Harden took one shot in the fourth quarter, which was a layup with, I think, less than a minute left to go. I mean, they just can't do that. And then they choked on, they couldn't capitalize on the absence of KD in Game 6. And they lost. And I just thought that was a disgrace. Good on the Warriors for being able to pull that out. But, I mean, we didn't really expect them not to be. Even without KD, they were still favorites to beat Houston. But, I mean, there's still that team that we saw a few years ago before KD joined. But obviously KD is that. But go ahead.
Yeah, so I agree. It's a complete disgrace. The fact that you lost that. Okay, Game 5, I understand. Steph Curry went off. Game 6, there's no reason you lose this game. There's no Kevin Durant. So it's basically Harden and Chris Paul versus Klay and Steph. Steph Curry had 0 points at halftime. How do you let the man end? I believe he ended up with 31. 33. How does he have 33 when he had 0 at halftime? What are you doing? First of all, fire the coach. I think it's Stan Van... No, it's not Stan Van Gundy. Mike D'Antoni. Fire him. Get rid of...
Is that how you say it?
Yeah, whoever it is. Him. Get rid of Chris Paul. Chris Paul is on the books for like $40 million in the year 2022. Trade him to whoever will take him and rebuild this team around James Harden, but he definitely needs a 2. So I don't care who you have to get. Go trade for Anthony Davis. Get whoever you can get. But it's pitiful, and this team is always going to be Golden State's little brother, and they're never getting over the hump. This was the one time, and they failed. They can't do it. It'll never happen. And I'm off of the Houston bandwagon forever. They're going to go back to not being good. Okay, I'm done.
No, I mean, I agree with a lot. And honestly, I agree with most of what you said. And I might even go as far as saying maybe consider trading James Harden. Maybe it's time to blow it all up, man. Maybe it's time to pull up Philadelphia and trust the process for a few years. Because, I mean, they're just not getting it done. And I don't think it's not because, I don't think it's because they're not building enough around him. Chris Paul was definitely a good signing. They obviously have a really good player in Clint Capella. I just don't think that's just, no matter what, it's not sticking. Like, they're not cohesive. I mean, whether it was the trouble with Dwight Howard, and now does Chris Paul and James Harden work? I mean, when is it ever going to be enough, you know? I just don't think that they're ever going to pull it off, so you might as well just blow it up.
Yeah.
You're wasting James Harden's career. I think he can go somewhere else and win a chip.
Well, here's the problem
Definitely
with that.
Don't make a super team, but yeah.
Here's the problem.
What were you going to say?
Who's going to trade for James Harden? Because he's been in the top 3 for MVP the last 3 years. You're going to have to literally give up your entire franchise. It's going to have to be a Brooklyn Net deal when they traded for Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett. Like, you're going to have to give up 5 years worth of draft picks. Because what player are you going to trade for him? Like, what team would you think would trade for James Harden right now?
I'm not really sure. I mean, I definitely think the Clippers have the cap room for him, and they definitely have the draft capital for it. So I definitely like to see him in the Clippers uniform. I know they've been talking about maybe getting Klay Thompson, maybe getting Kawhi Leonard, but I think they maybe might want to just jump for James Harden. I mean, that would be insane. One team that my favorite team that I'd like to see him in would be the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think that would be perfect. If him, Russ, Steve Adams, and Paul George, but I don't think they have the cap for that.
Well, here's
so
the thing.
I'm going to go with the Clippers.
You would have to give up either Russ or Paul George. They're not going to let you... Yeah, they wouldn't have the cap. They'd be way over the cap because all 3 of them would be signed to max deals. I don't know.
And Adams isn't cheap too.
Yeah, Adams is probably $30 million. I don't even know his contract. But I guess we can move off of the Houston Golden State thing. Reports came out today, though, that it looks like Durant's going to miss Game 1 and 2 against our next matchup, which is the Portland Trailblazers, is who won the series against the Denver Nuggets, Game 7. I believe every single one of these games was super close. They won 100-96 in Game 7. And Portland's actually who I wanted to see win the series, so I'm happy with the result. But yeah, it was just an ultra-competitive series between both of these teams.
Yeah, same. I wanted Portland to win, but honestly, I think Denver would have been the team to defeat the Golden State Warriors, especially now that they're KD-less. I think Denver would have given them a lot of trouble, especially with Jokic down low. And that chemistry between Jamal Murray and Jokic is amazing. And but I think the Denver Nuggets really blew it here. They were leading for almost the entire game in Game 7 at home, and they blew it. They let C.J. McCollum shoot his way back in there. Damian Lillard wasn't really even doing anything in Game 7. C.J. McCollum kind of carried the load, and I think they kind of panicked and they let him get back in the game.
Yeah. And Ernest Cantor has like a separated shoulder, so he can barely even play. But yeah, CJ had 37. Dame only had 13. And Denver was up 29-17 at the end of the first quarter. Like they should have won that game. But I guess we can preview the Western Conference Finals, which is Portland versus Golden State. I think this is a way more interesting final or Western Conference Finals if KD is out the entire series, because then it would just be Dame and CJ versus Clay and Steph. And
let the shooter shoot.
Exactly, yo. Like I feel like that would be a shootout for the ages. And if Damian Lillard ever wanted a time to shine, it's right now. Cause go out there and ball, young fella. You play in Portland, nobody watches you play at 10:30 at night when the game's in at 1:30. Go out here and ball. Show the world how good you are. But with that being said, I actually
for sure, and I think that
yeah, sorry, let me finish. With that being said, I actually think this series probably goes 6 games, but I do think the Warriors probably pull it out.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And Damian Lillard definitely should play his heart out. I mean, he definitely is one of the most underrated players in the NBA right now. But I think since KD's missing the first 2 games, Portland has got to play like both of these games at Game 7. These first 2 games are the most important games of the series, because if they're able to even win one of them, that gives them so much energy going into Portland for Games 3 and 4. I think if they even stand a chance, they have to win at least one, if not both, of these games in Golden State.
That's what.
But yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, when Kevin Durant comes back, he's coming. And especially if they're down, so you want to get it as far ahead as you can, because once he comes back, there's no stopping him. I mean, who they have stop him? Al-Farouq Aminu?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he's been great this playoffs, but I mean, I don't think he can hold KD. But yeah, they're gonna have to play like these are Game 7s.
Here's one thing I will say. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think Portland has to win at least one. I mean, if they won both, the world would collapse. People would start freaking the hell out. But I do think if they could split these first 2 games, just imagine how loud that arena will be back in Portland, knowing that they're in the Western Conference Finals and they're tied 1-1. Like, they've been knocked out of the first round of the playoffs the last 2 years in a row, and now they're in the Western Conference Finals. If they could just split these first 2 games in Golden State, that would be a huge momentum for them. And who knows, man, if KD's out, this becomes a real series.
For sure. And I'm starting to think that the Portland fans are definitely one of the best fan groups in the NBA. I love watching any game in Portland because they all get so into it. They all get so hyped. So I'd definitely like to see Portland, win a few and represent, what do they call Rip City?
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I think Golden State ends up winning in Game 6 or 7. But who knows? Damian might carry the team.
Right. All right, man. You got anything else? Oh, well, I guess we can pick who we think is going to win the NBA Finals. But I'm guessing we both have the same person. I have Golden State winning again. It's going to make me sad, but they're too overpowered.
I don't think so. I think, let's say we go with your pick with the Bucks winning, and then Golden State wins the West. I would like to believe that the Bucks might stand a chance, but I do. Oh gosh, I can't even do it. I can't bring myself to say it, but I think the Warriors are going to win, no matter who they play in the West. I mean, in the East. But the Warriors are going to win. I think the Bucks might have the best chance to take them, but it'll be a rough one. Yep. But not for long. This is the last year. This is the end of the dynasty. KD's not coming back.
Oh yeah, dude.
Clay might leave.
The second the season ends this year, the NBA gets 1,000 times more interesting because everybody's going to be on an even playing field if KD leaves. Like, it's going to be wild. I can't wait.
Oh yeah, because KD's leaving, Boogie's leaving, Clay might leave. It's going to be beautiful. I'm probably going to
cry. But yeah, guys, shout out to my guy Ryan. He's getting married this weekend. Very exciting for him.
Yeah.
Also, I believe he has the #1 overall Madden roster on all of PS4. Again, round of applause. Shout out to Ryan.
Thank you.
But yeah, with that being said,
I can't do without you guys.
Yeah, man, we appreciate the support. Keep listening. Keep loving the roster. Tweet us, Instagram DM us. We answer when we can. But with that being said, I guess that's all we got for this episode. So we'll see you guys maybe next week, maybe not, but hopefully. All right, peace, guys.